Welcome to our Lions Walk. We are reviewing the transfer window for Millwall. What do Millwall fans grade it out of 10? I'm also looking back on a fantastic result against Sheffield Wednesday. Welcome to our Lions Walk.
No one likes us! No one likes us! No one likes us! We don't care! We are Millwall! So for Millwall! We are Millwall! From the den!
And Callum's back with us. Welcome back, Callum. You must have enjoyed that one a lot. Talk us through it.
Yes, Mark, indeed I did. Great victory on Saturday. Such a brilliant performance from minute 0 to 90. Couldn't really believe it, really, what I was watching. It was just like a completely different team from the one against Leyton Orient in the Cup. Obviously everyone played their part, really. I can't really pick out a few people. I'll pick out a few, like Josh Coburn. We'll talk about signings later, but he comes straight into the team, done so well. Like his determination, his work ethic, holding the ball up, running channels. He was brilliant. Obviously, you've got Eze. All the front four really played their part, and the midfield as well. So I can't really judge it on too many people, but they all played their part. Obviously, seeing stats from the game, obviously the highest XG from all the results all the games on Saturday. Most ground duels won, most tackles won, 18 shots, which is the second joint highest from the game week 4. So yeah, I've just absolutely unbelievable, really. Just can't be more happier. It's quite a array of emotions from Tuesday night, how I was feeling after that defeat. Until Saturday.
We'll get into it later on, but you, to be fair though, Colin, you have been saying this has been coming. You have said week in, week out, look, against Watford we weren't all that bad. We just made stupid defensive errors. Against Bristol City in the second half, we weren't that bad. We just made some silly defensive mistakes. So this sort of result, it's been there, hasn't it? Just you're waiting for the centre backs to get back, and it, against Hull, you could have easily won that as well. So I'm not as surprised as Millwall fans, I don't think. But anyway, you'll take the 3 points, something nice to build on.
Exactly. Yeah.
One thing we spoke about last week was about Langston starting, and people were crying out for him to get the nod, and then for Coburn to come in at the last minute. And then for him to start. My only negative in this is he clearly doesn't like Langston.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, Mark, I watched the game on Tuesday against Leyton Orient, and he started that game. And obviously, on the last show that we did with George, and we were saying he needs to give him a chance, and he gave quite a few players the chance on Tuesday night against Leyton Orient in the Cup. And I watched the game on Sky Sports, and I couldn't believe what I was watching, to be honest with you, Mark. I've just, honestly, it was so bad. Just absolutely rubbish all around. He kept on, to be fair to him, he did try, but he was coming back and trying linking up play, but he kept losing the ball quite a bit. And I've obviously been speaking to a lot of fans on social media throughout the week before the game on Saturday, and like most of them were saying that he's sort of like Bradshaw with his touches and stuff, but like he wasn't really in the game at all against Leyton Orient in the Cup. So I think you've probably put the players sort of like in Maku, Langstaff, Aziz didn't do a lot in that game either. So I think from that game, I mean, Harris said after in his post-match interview after the game, he said that obviously about the players knocking on his door to start Saturday. So I think some of them players got their opportunity, they didn't take it, and then I think I sort of knew after that game we was going to have a reaction on Saturday. I just had that feeling that we'd do it, because it's just the Millwall way to what we do. We just play really bad. I mean, to be honest, it's a cup game anyway. But yeah, like we always lose against, bottom like League 1 teams, League 2 teams in the cup. And then the league game after, we just absolutely put a really good performance in. It's Millwall-like, isn't it?
Absolutely is, absolutely. And a clean sheet again for Jensen, the keeper. And we feel really happy for him given the start that he's had, because he didn't have a shaky start. But is he looking good in goal?
Yes, he looked very much more comfortable. I think that whole back line since Tanganga's come in. I mean, we spoke about him last week, and he just he didn't have the great. He played well, but he didn't have the greatest games. But he just looks so calm and composed. He makes that back line look so much better when he's in that back four. But Jensen, yeah, he played really well. Um, we was watching it towards the start of the game on Saturday. He looked a little bit iffy with his feet. I'm not really too sure about him with his feet. But I think as he gets more game time and he gets to know the players, I think he'll be solid. But yeah, 2 clean sheets in a row. He just, and he said after the game, he done a post match interview after the Sheffield Wednesday game, and I watched that, and he obviously apologised to the fans for the first 2 games, obviously letting in 7 goals. So he said that he's trying to he's learning as he's going, with the defence and that, just trying to get a feel of how everyone plays. So yeah, again, I think just give him time, and I think he'll come good.
Absolutely. Good. Right, here's some takes on the game from social media. Let's see if you agree with all these points. Moody Mush says, incredible performance. People who were in uproar of a Coburn starting ahead of Lensack, glad that shuts them up. Super Neil. Another clean sheet with our strongest centre back in, and more goals, including new signings. It's almost things need time, and maybe, just maybe, Harris knows what he's doing. Is this shut up a few Harris out murmurings that have just started to creep in, do you think, Owen?
Yeah, probably yes. I think, as I said earlier about the Tuesday night the cup game, I didn't think Langstaff deserved to start after what I saw. I think I wanted Coburn to start just to see what he could do, and obviously Neil put him in, and he done phenomenally well. Yeah, the David's tweet saying about another clean sheet. Obviously, Tanganga's the strongest centre back that we've got. More goals. I've got to say that the front 4 were excellent. Like I said earlier, I think now that we've had the window, but we'll come on to that in a bit. But we've had the window now, and we're looking in a much better place after this win on Saturday.
What more needs a shout out, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Fair play to Monmo, he's been unreal this season, and to anyone that is slagging off Denori as well. He's our best midfielder by an absolute mile. Both of them had an unreal game, brilliant team performance. And the bottom one here says that's been coming for a while now. I get it's been a rough 14 months, but I can't believe the negativity at the start of the season. We've looked fantastic other than the Orient game. It'll be a really fun season if we keep progressing. And there's lots of optimism, which is great to hear from.
Yeah,
because just despite the reputation, I really think it's a really well-run club that plays some really decent football. It doesn't get really the headlines that it should do. But what about Watmore? I mean, no Millwall fan could say they saw this coming at the start of the season, and I'd call you a liar if you said you did.
no, absolutely not. No, he's just come back such a different player from what we've seen last season. I mean, he's joint top goal scorer in the league with 4 goals, along with Madra and Mark Harris. But yeah, Mark, honestly, he's been so good the last 3 or 4 games. Obviously, he didn't play. He played a little bit against Orient, but the league games that we played so far, I mean, he's been our best player, apart from probably Romainez as well. But yeah, like he's been on fire, just so direct, and he's just being consistent. I think he needs to keep that up. Whether he keeps that up for the whole season is another question. But at the moment, he's got the confidence now, so let's hope it continues.
Absolutely. Okay, well done against Wednesday. On to the next couple then. Let's have a look at your fixtures. We've got some London derbies when we return after the international break. Luton are in town for the early kickoff on the Saturday, and then we have QPR, trip to QPR the following Saturday, which is another early one for Millwall. So we'll see a bit of you on telly And then home games against Preston, and then 2 away trips to Cardiff and of course to West Brom before we break again. So 3 away trips there, pretty tricky, but there's nothing really by looking at there that should worry Millwall until we get to West Brom. You see back now that there's nothing to. It's not a scary league as last year, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head there. There is some difficult teams in the league this year. It's definitely getting harder each year. But looking at the next 6, they're all winnable games. The one I'm worried about is probably the West Brom away games. Always tough going to the Hawthorns. But yeah, like Luton next in a couple of weeks. Obviously they're in a bad run of form at the moment. I watched the game against QPR on Friday. A bit shaky at the back, which is quite surprising to me to see. So it'd be interesting to see how we get on against them. But yeah, I think they're winnable games, all 6 of them. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I think most fans are positive now that we've got the squad that we've got now. I think we'll be fine.
Okay. All right, let's have a review of the transfer window then, shall we? First of all, let's have a look at the money and the financial aspect of it. In terms of spendings, so Millwall has spent just short of €6 million, which, for a club the size of Millwall, you would say, well, that's quite a lot of money. The concern, I suppose, is the balance, is that you haven't recouped any of that in terms of players going out. So when we look at the balance, look at Millwall right at the top there. So it's only Middlesbrough and Coventry that have spent more in terms of net spend. Does that worry you at all? That the chairman obviously has put up some money this summer. You haven't recouped anything in terms of big fees for any players going out. That can't be a model going forward, can it?
Well, so obviously Fleming has obviously joined Burnley on loan, but he's got an obligation to buy at the end of this season for 7 million, I believe. So that came out on Friday on obviously deadline day. So I think we should be getting 7 million at the end of this season for Fleming, which in my eyes is a very good bit of business by the club. And I think Fleming's money, the 7 million, has paid for our new striker, Milo Ivanovic, from Vojvodina, a Serbian club. So we spent about 2.5 million. I think it was 3 million euros that we spent on him. But obviously he's out injured, which we found out after the game on Saturday, for 8 weeks with broken metatarsal, which is such a Millwall thing to do. I mean, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. But yeah, obviously Bradshaw's out for 10 weeks with his hamstring injury. So I'd be a bit concerned if Josh Coburn was injured, and then we have Langstaff still. But you're looking at the others here on the screen now. You've got Daniel Kelly, Liam Roberts, Jensen, Tanganga, Langstaff, Aziz. And I just want to point out that the age of these players that we're getting in they're quite young. So I'm really excited about the clubs going in a different direction, bringing young players through. Obviously Langstaff's 27. Obviously Jaffet Tanganga's 25, but a decent age still. But I'm liking the fact that we're bringing in young players and developing them. And obviously Eze's contract extension as well last week was huge for the football club. I mean, he showed that on Saturday. He's unbelievable. He's one of the brightest stars in our team for sure.
Absolutely. Before I ask you for your grading, let's have a look at the departures. You mentioned Fleming there already. Nisbet did come up with the winner, didn't he? For Aberdeen last minute.
Yeah, very lazy run into the box, I must say as well.
I thought about you when I saw that goal. Alex Mitchell went to Charlton. Are there any on there that you think genuinely? I mean, you haven't lost that many. Let's be fair. This is the same Millwall side that did very well at the end of last season. Plus, the players you've already spoken about. So this is a stronger Millwall side than the one that started last season. I'm almost certain. Are there any on there that you wish the club might have done more to keep hold of, or offered better terms to?
Do you know what? I think overall it's been good. The only one I would be concerned about is the top one, Alex Mitchell. Now, a little bit of backstory into this. Obviously, Wes Harding on Thursday or Friday was put up for a transfer. He was available to be transferred by the club, and it was quite late on in the window. So I feel like, for me personally, my opinion would be that I think Murray Wallace on Tuesday, it was against Leyton Orient, I think he had a shocker. Same with Hutchinson. I would have liked to see probably Murray Wallace leave instead of Wes Harding. And Alex Mitchell, he's quite young. And I don't think Harris could have given him game time. But I think from seeing him on loan at Lincoln last season compared to the centre-backs that we've got at the moment now, I would have liked to have seen Harris give him an opportunity, because I didn't think he got one, especially under Rowett for the last 2 seasons. But I would have liked to have seen him get into the team somehow this season. But I mean, obviously Charlton paid a good fee for him, so the club decided to just let him go out on loan. Let him go out, for more game time.
Yeah. So overall, then, Callum, what's the grade you give this window out of 10?
I'll give it a solid 7.5, probably 7.5. I think selling Fleming for 7 million at the end of the season's very good for the club to go forward. And the players that we've brought in, I think they're good signings, young, hungry, and it's a bit early on, but I'm hoping that they'll come through for us this season.
If you disagree with that, I want to put it higher or even lower. Put a comment below. Cheers for that, Callum. Really good of you. Before we let you go, we're talking about away days on the network. This week, what's been the worst away day memory that you have as a Millwall fan? Put in your comments below. Do you have any, Callum, that stick to mind in terms of trips that you've made that you wish never to repeat again?
Yeah, so I went to Huddersfield away. I think it was 2 seasons ago when we lost. I think we lost 1-0. And obviously it was quite a long way up, and it was freezing cold up there. And I was with my dad, and we were just obviously standing up, and the football was honestly so bad, Mark. It was unbelievable. Like, we paid all that money to travel up, back up there and back down again, and just watch the performance was so bad. I mean, it was freezing cold. It must have been like -5 or something like that. But yeah, it was a horrible away day for me and obviously the journey there and back is atrocious as well. So yeah, it's not one of my fondest away days of my life. Let's put it that way.
-5 is nothing to us Millwall'S. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's a bit over the top though, but it was a -5, but it was very, very cold just for the viewers watching.
Right, Millwall fans, can you beat a cold trip to Huddersfield? I'm sure you can. Put in the comments below. Thanks, Callum. Enjoy the little break, and we'll see you the other side of the international fortnight that we have now. Thanks, Callum, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark. Cheers.
Thank you.